Welcome back to Faith and Flower, and welcome if you're new. My name is Robin. We have recently completed a quite large kitchen renovation, and I wanted to take you back to the beginning and show you from start to finish the whole process. If you've been with me for a while, you have probably seen this happen in real time each week as I showed you what we were working on, but I thought it would be really fun to compile everything into one video. So I hope you enjoy this today. We live in Central Texas, and we recently downsized to a ranch-style home that was built in 1984. This kitchen was not the original to the home. It had been renovated once by the previous owners. And while it looks like it was in pretty good shape, it was a little rough on the inside. These cabinets and drawers were quite worn, and this was just not really our style. So when we bought the house, we knew that the kitchen was going to have to be renovated, and we started on it right away before we even moved in to get some of the dirty work of demolition out of the way before moving in all of our furniture. Right behind the refrigerator, there is a butler's pantry area that was floor to ceiling cabinetry, and then next to that was another area that they were using for storage. We plan to change things up a little bit and use this area as my office, and this butler's pantry we're going to keep as that, but this big cabinet was covering up a window, so we knew that we wanted to expose that in the new design. Instead of the sledgehammer approach, just destroying everything in the kitchen and then throwing it all away, it was really important for us to salvage as many things as possible. And in fact, we were able to do that with all of the cabinets, the appliances, the lighting, just about everything except for the granite countertops. And that was only because we couldn't find a taker on those. There was no one willing to come and remove those for us, and they were just too heavy for us to take out intact. So those unfortunately did not survive, but everything else did, and we were able to sell a lot of things, which really helped. It was worth it in the end, but it did add a lot of extra time to our demolition. We played around with the idea of a different layout in the kitchen, even removing a wall, but in the end we decided to keep the basic format of the kitchen. The original layout was very functional, and it would save a lot of cost if we didn't move some major appliances around and things like that. Our home is built on a concrete slab, so that really did limit things unless we were willing to incur significant costs. Once all of the cabinetry was removed, we started working on removing this tile Backsplash. We chipped away at it for quite a while and realized that that was just futile. It was taking forever, and the drywall behind the tile was so damaged that we just decided to remove that portion of the drywall along with the tile. And once we made that decision, everything went much quicker. We also had plans to replace the framing around the windows in the kitchen, so we went ahead and removed that to make it a little bit easier to access the tile. Most of the renovations we did entirely on our own, but when it came to replacing the floors, we decided to hire professionals. We had tile floor over much of the house, and removing that was going to be a big, very time-consuming job if we did it on our own. So we hired someone to do that. We covered up the vents and air exchanges to reduce the amount of dust from the demolition. The tile that we had in the kitchen extended into the living room and entry area, and we had all of that removed. Then we had engineered hardwood floors installed. I will put a link down in the description box for our flooring, along with anything else that I am able to that pertains to our kitchen renovation. We are really happy with the hardwood floors that we chose. These are very durable. They have a 50-year warranty. We love the color, the wide plank, and the finish on them. They are very easy to keep clean, and as a matter of fact, don't show much dirt at all. We have a dog who sheds, and these are wonderful for that. Then it was on to putting together all of our Ikea cabinetry, and this is only a portion. When we ordered our kitchen, it was right at the beginning of the whole supply chain issue. So most of the parts were coming from overseas, if not all, and we had a significant delay on much of it. Because we chose to assemble everything on our own, there was only so much time that we could put into it as we both work, and a lot of the work had to be done on the evenings and weekends. So fortunately, we had enough to get started, and we just began putting everything together and installing as we went. Ikea does offer installation, however, you cannot schedule that until every single piece from your order has arrived, and so we're really glad that we chose this route because we did not receive everything for about 5 or 6 months, which would have really delayed the installation of our kitchen. Being able to do most of the work, we were able to get it to a point where we could still have it function for us, even if things like cabinet fronts and drawer fronts were still missing. Ikea's instructions are very basic and easy to follow. It is just very time consuming. Putting together everything was probably one of our least favorite aspects of this project, but in the end, it really wasn't all that bad, and it did save us significant money. In choosing everything that we would need for our kitchen, Ikea required us to have an online meeting with someone from their design staff, and so that really helped us work through some of the sort of kinks in the project and help clarify things so that we would know exactly how to do the installation ourselves. And the instructions that they gave for laying out the kitchen as we planned were pretty straightforward. We did have to make a few adjustments here and there, but overall, we were pretty pleased with that process too. after 6 months, we were still missing some of the drawer fronts and cabinet fronts. And this really did hold up things in the kitchen as far as functionality, because with Ikea, you cannot assemble a drawer without the front. So that limited the storage space that I had and made it a little bit harder to function in our kitchen, and was definitely a source of frustration. It took many phone calls, and my husband Patrick was able to locate them in a store in Las Vegas. And fortunately, once we contacted that store, they were willing to ship it to us, but it really does matter who you receive on the other end and if they are willing to help you out or not. Even though the delay was probably our chief complaint, everything else we really loved. And because we had all of the base cabinets, it did not delay us from installing the countertops, which really made our kitchen a lot easier to function in, even if we were missing some drawers here and there. One of the options that I loved incorporating in our kitchen was having the panel front for the dishwasher. It really gave it a more seamless appearance in our kitchen, which was rather small, so that it wasn't broken up by a lot of stainless steel appliances. In the area that I refer to as the Butler's pantry, where we exposed the window, we decided to put the pantry cabinets on the opposite wall. We installed base cabinets and a countertop underneath the window, where we plan to keep the microwave and have some extra storage and still maintain all of the storage that we would need for food. We chose the more shallow 15-inch cabinet depth for these, and I love it. It makes it really easy to access all of the food inside, and there are lots of options for different drawer and shelf configurations. One of the last major pieces to arrive was the cabinet that we had selected to go over our refrigerator. And like I said, at least that was a cabinet that didn't hold us up on anything. If one of the base cabinets had taken that long, it would have taken that much longer to get our countertops installed and would have delayed us being able to function within our kitchen. We used the Butler's pantry area to experiment with how we would like to finish out the main portion of the kitchen. And so we trimmed out the window and installed Shiplap and loved it, and decided to carry that over. For the backsplash behind the stove and under the glass cabinetry, we chose a 6-inch white subway tile with a light gray grout, and we had it staggered by thirds. We began installing the shiplap ourselves. When I say we, it was mostly Patrick with my assistants. And because we were having a Finnish carpenter come in to do some things with the cabinetry, we had him continue with the shiplap and finish out the windows in the same style that we did in the Butler's pantry. The last project was to paint the shiplap and the trim, and we went with the same color that we used in the Butler pantry and my office area, which is called Frothy Surf, and that is by Behr, and you can find that at Home Depot. It's a very, very light sort of aqua color, and it probably reads just white to you on camera, but we really liked the slight contrast that it gave against the white trim of the windows and the gray cabinetry. It worked out to be just enough of a difference while maintaining the white, bright, open feel that I was going for. We installed one open floating shelf and added window treatments, and then the kitchen was complete. We chose cordless bamboo shades in the color driftwood, which I felt worked really well with the furniture that we chose and the flooring. This section of cabinetry we use as our beverage center. It has a beverage refrigerator. We put our coffee and our tea making things here, and the glass cabinetry gives me a place to display some of our special pieces. In our previous home, we had a gas range. We did not have that option here in this home, so we went with an induction range. I love this, and it's by Bosch, and so is the refrigerator. In our previous home, I had a large stainless steel farmhouse sink, and I knew I wanted to incorporate that element in this smaller kitchen on a smaller scale and also in porcelain. So I chose this one. This is the Lerhyttan sink from Ikea. The bar stools, kitchen table, chairs, and bench all come from Pottery Barn, and I will have links for those down in the description box. Our oval table is a trestle style table, so it's very easy to add or take away a leaf and sits perfectly. We chose to get an additional bench, which we could use here against the wall, and then bring over to the table whenever we have guests. I hope that you found it fun to watch this transformation from beginning to end in today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give me a thumbs up before you go, and also subscribe. We would love to have you join us here at Faith and Flower. If you would like to see more about our fixer-upper, I will have some videos linked down in the description box, and there will be more to come. As always, I'm so appreciative of you spending your time with me here today. I look forward to talking with you down in the comments below, so make sure you leave one, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a wonderful week.